Welcome back to another video session of Math Matters. This is the sixth video in a series of videos in which we are looking at solving linear algebraic equations. In the last video, we learned that there are four basic steps to solving linear equations. Step 1, simplify. 2, move. 3, isolate. And 4, check. Let's look at an equation this time which has fractions in it, like 1/4 x plus 2/5 equals 1/2 x minus 6/10. Step number 1, simplify. Part of simplifying when fractions are involved is to eliminate them. We can do this by finding the least common denominator and then using it to multiply both sides of the equation. Start by building the prime factorization table for each of the denominators that are in the equation. I like to list the denominators from largest to smallest, so let's start with 10. The prime factorization of 10 is 2 times 5. Notice I'm leaving space for other columns between the 2 and the 5. Our next denominator is 5. 5 is prime, so we only have a 5 in the 5's column. The next denominator is 4. The prime factorization of 4 is 2 times 2. Keep the columns lined up. Then finally we have a denominator of 2, which is also prime, so just place a 2 in the 2's column. Now to find the least common denominator, bring down the columns. We have a column of 2's, we have another column of 2's, and a column of 5's. 2 times 2 times 5. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 5 is 20. Our least common denominator would have been 20, but instead we are going to use it to eliminate the fractions in the equation by multiplying both sides of the equation by 20. The multiplication principle of equality allows us to do this. Distribute the 20 on the right side. 20 times 1/4. Simplify before you multiply. We can divide the denominator of 4 by 4, which is 1. It factors out. And we can divide the numerator 20 by 4, which is 5. Remember, to simplify, you must divide a numerator and a denominator by the same number. In this case, 4. So we now have 5x. Continue distributing the 20. 20 times 2/5. Look at the denominator we are trying to get rid of, 5. Divide the top and the bottom by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. It factors out. And 20 divided by 5 is 4. Now, multiply straight across. 4 times 2 is 8. We have 5x plus 8 on the left side. Distribute the 20 on the right side. 20 times 1/2. Denominator is 2. Divide top and bottom by 2. 2 divided by 2 factors out. 20 divided by 2 is 10. So we end up with 10x. If you think about it, half of 20 is 10. Then 20 times 6/10. Denominator is 10, so divide top and bottom by 10. 10 divided by 10, it factors out. 20 divided by 10 is 2. Multiply across the tops. 2 times 6 is 12. And we end up with 10x minus 12. Or, the better way of looking at it, 10x plus negative 12. Notice all of the fractions are now gone from the equation. We are now done with step 1, simplify. Step 2, move. Get all the variable terms on one side of the equation and all of the constant terms on the other. I like to start with the variable terms first. Look for the largest one, in this case 10x. It is going to stay where it is, so move the smaller one, 5x. To do this, subtract 5x from both sides. Addition principle of equality. 5x minus 5x is 0, and 0 plus 8 is just 8. On the right side, 10x minus 5x is 5x, and then bring down the negative 12. Now we have the variable term on the right. We need to get all the constant terms on the left. To do this, we need to move the 12. How? It is minus 12 or negative 12. Do the opposite. Add positive 12 to both sides. Now negative 12 plus positive 12 ends up being 0, and 0 plus 5x is just 5x. On the left side, 8 plus 12 is 20. Now constants are on the left and variables are on the right. Step number 2, move, is done. Step 3, isolate. Now we need to isolate the variable. Since x is being multiplied by 5, we need to do the opposite. Divide by 5 both sides. On the right we have 5 in the numerator and 5 in the denominator, which 5 divided by 5 is 1, where they factor out, leaving just x. On the left we have 20 divided by 5, which is 4. Now x is isolated. Step 3 is done, and we have 4 is equal to x, or x is equal to 4. Step number 4, check. Substitute 4, or in fraction form, 4 over 1, in the original equation for x, and then solve. Let's start on the left side. 1/4 times 4 over 1, simplify before you multiply. The 4's factor each other out, and we end up with just 1. But to be able to add the 2/5, we need a common denominator. And 1 written as fifths is 5 over 5. Now, add the numerators. 2 plus 5 is 7. Put it over the common denominator of 5, and we end up with 7/5 on the left side. On the right side now, we have 1/2 times 4 over 1. Simplify by dividing both top and bottom by 2, and we end up with 2 over 1, or just 2. If we stop for a second and think, isn't half of 4 2? Yes. Anyhow, to be able to subtract the 6/10, we need a common denominator again, and 2 in tenths would be 20 over 10. 20 divided by 10 is 2. So now, subtract the numerators. 20 minus 6 is 14. We have 14/10. This can be simplified. Since the top and bottom are both even numbers, we can divide by 2, top and bottom. We end up with 7/5, just like the left side. 7/5 equals 7/5, which is true. Therefore, x equals 4 is a solution for the original equation. Let's do one more, this time with parentheses in the equation. We still need our steps. Step 1, simplify. Step 2, move. Step 3, isolate. Step 4, check. The equation is 3 times in parentheses y minus 5 is equal to 8 times in parentheses y plus 1, then subtract 3. Step 1, simplify. To simplify, we need to take care of the parentheses first. In algebra, to get rid of the parentheses, we need to distribute. Distribute the 3. 3 times y is 3y, and 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. Now distribute the 8. 8 times y is 8y, and 8 times 1 is 8. Bring down the negative 3. Parentheses are gone. Now, combine like terms. The only terms we can combine is the 8 and negative 3, which equals 5. Step number 1 is complete. Now, step number 2, move variable terms to one side and constant terms to the other. Which is our largest variable term? 8y, so that stays. We need to move the 3y. Subtract 3y from both sides. 3y minus 3y is 0, which leaves negative 15 on the left side. 8y minus 3y is 5y, which leaves 5y plus 5 on the right side. Now we need to subtract 5 from both sides so that we can get the constants to the left side. 5 minus 5 is 0, which leaves just the variable term 5y on the right side. Negative 15 minus 5 is negative 20, and that leaves just the constant term On the left side, step 2 is done. Step 3, isolate the variable y. Y is being multiplied by 5, so divide both sides by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 1 times y is just y. Negative 20 divided by 5 is negative 4. It looks like negative 4 is equal to y is the solution. Step 3 is done. Now step 4, check. Start with the original equation and substitute in negative 4 for y, and then solve using the order of operations. The order of operations starts with parentheses. On the left side, we have in the parentheses negative 4 minus 5, or negative 4 and negative 5, which equals negative 9. Next in the order of operation comes exponents, which we have none because we are working with linear equations. So move on to multiplication or division going left to right. 3 times negative 9 is negative 27. Now let's move to the right side and do the same thing. First, in the parentheses, we have negative 4 plus 1, which equals negative 3. Next, we need to do multiplication. 8 times negative 3 is negative 24. Then the last step in the order of operations is to add or subtract going left to right. Negative 24 and negative 3 is negative 27. Hey, negative 27 equals negative 27. That is true. Therefore, negative 4 must be a solution for the equation. Wow, this video was a little long, but we made it to the end. We have one more video to go in this series of solving linear algebraic equations. So until next time, have a nice day.